Episode 17 of the Figure 4 podcast. I'm Dre Rawka, and we are going to be talking a lot about Braun Breaker. We're going to be talking a lot about Bad Blood. We're going to talk more about Will Wonder's hate for Drake and Lil Wayne.
It's not hate. It's just being real about a situation that makes sense for the biggest artist in rap to headline the Super Bowl. I'm sorry. No. Mrs. Officer. No, we're not listening to that shit at the Super Bowl.
That's the intro. We got a situation here.
No pukesters helping me to the left, and no pukesters helping me to the right. Didn't need them then, don't need them now.
You are the ex-champion only.
Now this is the way, Tony and David, that you do the figure 4 leg lock.
Oh. Yeah, I don't know. You just tell your kid. You know, I didn't play football in high school. There was a football coach who would ask me to come play tight end because that's what basketball players played, tight end, you know. Yeah. I was tall, I could catch, whatever. It wasn't very fast, but he used to always tell, like, whenever the team like performed bad or was kind of lazy or whatever, his name was Sonny Sudbury. And he'd always say, he'd sound like this: you ain't got no pride. You ain't got no pride. You ain't got no pride. If you get beat by that much, you have no pride. Okay. No pride.
Would you agree? Would you agree with that? Would you say they had no pride? Like, if you're losing that bad, you got no pride? Or is it just the other team just dominates? Sorry, guys. We're going to be talking about wrestling here shortly, but we were just talking about a high school here in Utah being whooped on 80-0. And as parents, we're both parents. You know, both of us have kids that are in athletics. My son does boxing. Your son does everything under the moon. And like at that point, like being on the receiving end of that, do you like just say, yo, like 40 point stomp, like it's the third quarter, can we just call it?
Yeah, there's got to be some kind of like mercy rule, I think. Like back in Madden, if it was 21-0 at halftime, you know, when I used to be in those tournaments, it's like, all right, game over.
Yeah. Call it time of death. 6:45. The game started at 6:30.
Yeah, that's tough, man. That's tough. I don't remember ever getting beat that. We had some tough losses in basketball, but I want to say the most we ever lost by was maybe like 12.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah.
You can come back. I mean, Tracy McGrady, you could do that in what, 20 seconds?
Yeah. Well, if you have Tracy McGrady, I wasn't doing that.
But you did? No, it was your wife that had the T-Max.
Yeah.
Word.
Yeah.
Well, welcome to the Figure 4 podcast, a podcast where we talk about all things wrestling, mostly WWE, but hey, we throw some AEW stuff in there. My man Ricochet, we'll talk about him a little bit here coming up shortly. I'm Dre Rawka, coming at you live from Cousin Tyrone's basement.
Will Wonder here in King Gunther's guest room, getting ready to put my Bill Goldberg poster up there, I guess, because that's his favorite wrestler. We'll get to that later.
Oh, man, that was so great, by the way.
Yeah.
But, man, I want to hear about your weekend. I want to hear about what did you do? I know today you had boxing, but what else did you do this weekend?
Yeah. Today I had boxing. I don't know how I'm standing. I told you, like, coming up the steps, I was like, ooh, it's going to be rough tomorrow. Anyways, this weekend, football started. There's a lot of football involved, a lot of football watching. Man, I know I did something. What did I did something Saturday. And, you know, the older I get, I just don't remember these things. My son had his first game. That's what it was. Coached my son's game. He had 10 points, solid debut, some great defense, couple rebounds, a block, couple assists, and we won by 18, I think, 18, 20-ish.
Is he still rocking 30?
New year, and new season rather, and they didn't have 30 in there. I mean, he could wear it because it's the same jersey colors, but they had weird ones this time. They had really weird ones, so I just let him choose. He picked 29. I don't know. They didn't have like normal numbers. There was like a 29, 28, 17. I'm like, who printed these? What are we doing here? But whatever, you know.
Maybe it was because the kids would fight over like the popular numbers, right?
Yeah.
23, you're gonna be throwing some elbows, right?
Yeah, he's got some new kicks, new Steph Curry's. They're gold, blue, they're funky, but he loves them. They're huge. He wears a size 5, which is nuts. What else do we do? KRCL had an event, local radio station here that had an event in the International Peace Gardens. Went to that. My mother-in-law was working a booth.
G-Town.
Yeah, yes, it was. International Peace Gardens is beautiful. I've never been there.
Oh yeah,
that's my first time ever being there.
You never strolled through Jordan Park?
Guess not. Yeah, that was it. Had some good dinner.
Guess
right?
Not.
Yeah, until Saturday. Had some good dinner. Wasatch Brew Pub. I got beer. Too many beers, not too many, but yeah, too many. And boy, your boy was lighting the room up all night. My wife was pissed. Sunday got the workout in, man. Yeah, got the new episode of the Will Wonder Show. I've been working on that and football.
It's a jam-packed weekend.
Yeah.
I did not go to a Peace Garden. Actually, I went and watched cage fighting. That was awesome. Yeah, we had fierce
total opposite end of the spectrum.
Yeah, but it's weird though, because there is what they say. What's the cheesy line? It's better to be a warrior in the garden than a gardener in the war.
Yes.
Yeah, namaste.
Yeah.
But yeah, we had a Fierce Fighting Challenger Series in Syracuse at Warehouse 22 on Saturday. That was a lot of fun. Some of the best fights from amateurs that I've ever seen. Now, we put the word amateur in front of these fighters' names just because they don't have the experience, right? But these guys, they learn technique. Their coaches are saying, okay, now you're ready. We trust you to go get in the cage, right? And they're going out there, and you're not seeing a lot of mistakes that 15 years ago you would see. It would just be like a drunken brawl is what it would look like. This one, they're setting up shots. They're using their jab. They're doing takedowns. They're throwing fakes. It's really, really dope to see these amateurs, and not one of those fights disappointed. Matter of fact, the main event was Amin Garcia and I forget the other guy's name, but both of these guys ended in a draw. Your main event ends in a draw. These guys were throwing heavy hands. Both of them get dropped. Both of them have the heart of just a warrior. Such a good fight. If you want to watch it, or if you want to see what's going on with Fierce, check out fiercefightingchampionship.com. More boxing. As I mentioned earlier, my 11-year-old now is boxing. And his gym, Dior Boxing, they had a couple fights as well. The women's coach, she fought. Her name's Coach Jade. She fought. And one of the kids' coaches fought as well. Both of them won. Both of them got that gold. So, yeah, man, a lot of things happened. My man Dom fought on Friday, bare knuckle fighting.
He won, correct?
Yeah, knocked the dude down.
Took his shades off in the video you had posted. I was like, oh, God, ouch.
Dude, like, they're not lying.
Hurt my face, bro.
They just they wrap just the wrist, really. But other than that, everything's all bare knuckle fighting. And they had that at the Maverick Center. This was Dominico Salas's first debut in BKFC. He's done tons of fights, but bare knuckle. And he went viral. Like, one of his videos went viral. It was all over the Twitter world. And yeah, man, congratulations to him. Congratulations to everybody else that fought. It was a very jam-packed combat sports weekend.
He seems like a dude that could go into pro wrestling. I watched, your discussion with him. I saw him kind of what he does on socials. He could, venture into the pro wrestling realm when he gets tired of getting hit in the face. You know what I mean?
I believe so. I think a lot of these guys, well, I shouldn't say a lot of them, because a lot of wrestling is personality, right? But
exactly, that's what I mean. He has a great personality. Yeah.
Yeah. I said it in the interview, is that he is Utah's #1 fighter with personality. There's nobody else out here that has the personality that is what he shows. He's fun, he's welcoming, he's also, he's not afraid to be a goofball, and I think that's what makes a great personality, just to be yourself and say some inspiring shit and knock people out.
Yeah. And be intimidating at the same time. I mean, you think about the greatest wrestlers ever. Stone Cold, even though he was terrifying at times, he'd do some funny stuff. The Rock, the same way,
Well, they give us those moments, right? Like, we wouldn't have what without Stone Cold. Like, just a simple what?
Yeah.
What? And even to this day, like, it's Chad Gable, I know they tried to play on him, being like Kurt Angle, but he gets the "you suck" chance every time he comes out. And it's just simple things that are born naturally.
Yeah. Yep.
It makes me wonder though. Do you think guys practice this kind of thing? Like, oh, I'm gonna create a catchphrase, or do you think it just comes naturally?
I think it's probably both ways, right? But I think the best ones and the ones that last the longest are the ones where it just comes naturally and they go off the cuff. I don't know how much they're able to do that these days, but I think back then it was the more just the, like when Stone Cold, you hear the story about his 316 when he beat Jake the Snake, and just like what it just popped in his head. He didn't even run that by anybody, but he just did it. Holy shit. Now there's millions and millions and millions of dollars of merch off of that one thing,
And
so I think
he wrestled so long before that too, and nobody really. I mean, the public didn't really know Stone Cold until he cut that promo.
Yeah. I mean, he had some pretty bad gimmicks, not bad, but I mean, in WCW, was it the Hollywood Blondes, and then like he went to ECW and the Ringmaster in WWF, which was like kind of a weird, like, what is the Ringmaster? But yeah, when he got to Stone Cold, he really found himself. And that, I mean, he will always be Stone Cold Steve Austin now.
Yeah, he will. A legend. I was thinking about this live event. A lot of people have been asking me, hey, Dre. And when I say a lot of people, it's been my man Aiden and another guy, Colleague Bravo with Show Live TV. They're like, yo, Dre, are you going to go to SmackDown? They're coming to Salt Lake City. You're going to go to SmackDown. And my answer is always, I wish. It's just super expensive. But it made me realize, it made me think about the first event that I took Tay to, which was Raw.
Yeah.
And you were telling me you've gone to a lot of different live events, and you tell me, oh, like, we want to show up early, or you want to stay a little bit after because there's some dark matches. My question for you, Wonder, is have you ever seen a dark match that you're like, damn, I wish this was a story, or damn, this is somebody to look out for? Have you ever seen a dark match that maybe now you're like, oh, now I remember seeing Sami Zayn in a dark match before he was Sami Zayn, or anything like that?
I only have one. Like, usually the dark matches afterward are like coattailed on to what happened at the end of the episode. I have one that was, oh, you know what? It wasn't even, now that I'm thinking about it, I guess the answer is no. The only time I can think where I was like, I was at a show, it was a house show. This is before we started getting a lot of Raws and SmackDowns here in Salt Lake City. But I remember Bray Wyatt, the first time I saw Bray Wyatt, and he was like this, I think they were still trying to really work out the character, at this time he was like very like, felt like Southern cult leader, which is kind of what once he got ramped up was what he was. But I remember he faced Zack Ryder, and the joke about Zack Ryder used to always be like, Zack Ryder hasn't won a match in like 400 years, you never saw Zack Ryder win a match. So I remember me and Daniel, my friend, our friend, our friend, Jazz Nation, we were at this event, and out comes Zack Ryder, and I'm like, he's going to take the L. But then out comes Bray Wyatt. No music, mind you. He's just talking on the microphone. And I'm like, oh, shit. And I didn't know who he was. I didn't watch NXT at the time. I'm like, damn, Zack Ryder's going to get a win on this house show. Nope. Bray Wyatt beat him.
Was this Husky Bray Wyatt? Was he? No.
He was not Husky Harris. This was Bray Wyatt.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, this is probably, I would say, like 3 months or so before he showed up on Raw. Because I had no idea who he was. Nothing. And then when he showed up and we started getting the video packages of the Wyatt family, I was like, oh, there's the dude who beat Zack Ryder.
That's cool, man. See, I haven't been able to see one of these matches, one of these dark matches, but I always hear stories of like, not even stories. I always we see the house shows, we see the dark matches on social media, right?
Yeah.
Where it's like, we see the dream tag match where it's like Gunther and Jey Uso finally get a tag match, like these kind of things. And I don't know. I always wondered like if those dark matches or the house shows ever came to fruition with like a real storyline. And if so, like, how did that look?
The craziest house show ever, the craziest thing that happened at a house show, at least what I can think of. I mean, it wasn't one that was here, but was when Diesel won the World Heavyweight Champ or the WWF Championship. against Bob Backlund at Madison Square Garden. Like that wasn't televised. 90. I mean, that had to be 95-ish around there. I mean, when he first won the title and then he held it for such a long time, but he beat Bob Backlund at Madison Square Garden at a house show. And then I remember watching, had to have been Raw, because I think Raw was brand new. Excuse me, brand new at the time. And they're like, and over the weekend, you know, Vince.
Yeah.
Starting this way. Diesel beats Bob Backlund for WWE. And I think what they were trying to do was be like, hey, you need to go to these house shows, because I don't think they were performing very well. And it's like, holy shit, if the title can change at a house show, like what else can happen, you know? But yeah, that's the only thing I can think of where something crazy happened at a house show. I've been to so many house shows here in Salt Lake City, seen some fun matches, but you never get anything like, oh, wow, you know, nothing crazy.
Are house shows done in Salt Lake City? Are we done with the house shows? Do you think Salt Lake City is a big enough market now to where we're getting the TV tapings?
It kind of feels that way. And it makes sense, like with everything that we have going on here, the Olympics coming, hockey team is here now. Like I think we have a big enough market, and we sell them out. Like people buy them tickets real quick. So I think so. I'm also drinking an ice. Hey, I just, you know, I put it in the cup.
Salute, fancy man.
Mm-hmm.
So what do we want to start, man? We've had what? We had SmackDown, we had Raw, season premiered week on USA for both shows. Where would you like to start?
Let's just go chronological. Let's go SmackDown, and let's talk about Cody Bloodline real quick. The opening segment, they're really sowing the seeds of Jacob Solo at some point are going to have a beef.
Yeah,
there was
Cody knows how to pry his way through this family.
Yeah,
he knows exactly what to say. What's the 48 laws of power? The enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Mm-hmm.
There has to be some type of unsung like beef or something between Jacob and Solo, to where, because he already had him drop his title, right? Solo had him drop his title.
Exactly.
And then he blocks him from getting a title match with Cody.
Yep. I love everything that happened from a, like, if you were just to read about it perspective, right? Like, oh, cool. That's dope. That's awesome. Yeah. But watching it, there were some miscues. And I don't know if you caught this, but I wrote the note down because I actually watched it really late Friday. I watched it after the Packers-Eagles game. So there I am in my basement, you know, wife's asleep, son's asleep. I'm like, I'm not really tired. Let's do this. Cody says, I'm going to pull up my note because I don't want to mess it up. Cody says, you know, I know you want to face me, but it sure as hell isn't going to be next week. Okay. That happens. Then Solo says, oh, you're really trying to tear me and Jacob apart, and you want me next week? Guess what? You're on. And I was like, but he just said it's not happening next week. So that was weird. And I don't know how that happened. I don't know if Cody messed up, if Solo messed up, who messed up.
Yeah.
But then I need to get into this.
For those of you just watching on YouTube, Wonder is giving us the Jacob Fatu prayer hands. I love you, Solo.
And the grill.
Face. Yeah.
Like, we get it. We get it. You gotta, I see it. But what is that? Like when he said, I want you, Jacob. And he's like, bro, it was weird. We gotta let Jacob. I mean, I know he's supposed to be like this crazed animal. We gotta let Jacob get away from certain things.
That's not him. If you watch early Jacob is very much a Bay Area guy.
Great shit talker.
Yes.
Like this whole.
Yeah, it was
awful. Weird, bro. It was so weird.
Let Jacob's wings fly. Let him fly. Maybe they're working their way up to that once he leaves this.
Yeah.
This what's a hypnosis hypnotician of Solo brainwashing him, because he's gonna wake up. And when Jacob really wakes up, I really think we're gonna have like a bounty hunter on our hands. I think we're gonna have somebody that loves his family and will definitely help his family, but somebody that's gonna have his own interests, in mind as well.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, out of all of that, though, I'm excited we get Solo, Cody, Steel Cage next week. And I don't know this. I don't know if this is true. I saw a little rumor, and this is kind of funny because Raw is going to 2 hours on USA.
Oh,
next week, but there's a rumor that SmackDown's going to be 3 for the premiere. Have you seen?
I haven't seen that, but hey, I'm here for it. If that means we get Roman back,
it's got to mean Roman
with the tribal chief.
Yeah, I mean, you don't do a season premiere just all willy nilly.
So we got that, and I was looking at Bad Blood, and Bad Blood. We have 3 matches on there, all from Raw.
Yep. Yeah.
So that means we should have 2 more from SmackDown. So
I think we're gonna get a few. This might be like a 7 to 8 match card. It feels like it kind of has to be.
But going back to SmackDown, if we do get a 3-hour premiere, I wonder if it's a lead up to Bad Blood. I wonder if by the end of this, it's gonna be a huge lead up to finishing out the roster on Bad Blood.
Yeah. I mean, let's see. We're 3 weeks away from Bad Blood, so we still have a little bit of time to tell a story there. But I think, we got to get something with Cody in the Bloodline. So who he fights, I don't know. What that looks like, I don't know. So that's got to be one, right? I mean, he's all over the promo. It is in Atlanta. That's his home. Cody has to be on that card.
Does AJ come back?
Maybe. But for who?
Cody.
No. It's got to be Bloodline Cody. Someone in the Bloodline and Cody.
Rocky?
That's what it is.
Rocky at Bad Blood?
Be great for him to show up. That'd be cool. I mean, no match, but show up. That'd be pretty dope.
We still don't have Cena.
So I was reading about, I tried to look it up because I'm like, where the hell's John Cena? What the hell's going on? He made it, apparently in his speech, he made it very clear that January is when he comes back. So I'm guessing like leading up to Rumble. So I don't think we see him until then.
Oh.
Which also makes me wonder, like, what the fuck did we announce it? Sorry. I'm trying to, I own a business now. I'm trying to stop with the F words. But why did we announce it so early? Like, that could have waited. We could have waited for that announcement, right? Like, same with you. I'm like, where's John Cena? Where's the jorts? I need, I don't want to see Santos running outside in jorts. I want to see John Cena do it. I want to see the OG.
I was gonna say it's only me, the Lake Talk, and Santos that wear jorts. So what do you thinking? We have to get a Bloodline something on Bad Blood?
It has to be, but I don't know what it is. Like, it's got to be Cody, maybe a Cody solo, because maybe this cage match, something happens. I mean, we're already getting a Hell in the Cell, which I'm very hyped for, with Punk and Drew. So I don't think it makes sense to have 2. You can't have 2 Hell in the Cells, but there's got to be something. And I don't want to. I don't want a Bloodline Rules match. We don't need it. We get it. Okay. I don't want to be let down that KO and Randy are coming out to help again. Okay. We don't need to see it. We don't.
Could it be the Gorilla Twins? The Gorilla, what are their names? Gorilla Destruction?
Yeah.
Yeah, them. Could it be them? No, they already beat Street Profits, huh? Do we get a rematch with the Street Profits?
Maybe. I mean, we had that at the end of SmackDown. What did we have? Bloodline and DIY and Street Profits?
Yeah. Maybe.
I don't know. I feel like for as much as I wanted the titles to be on the Bloodline, there's just that it's off of Jacob. It's kind of like, I don't know. I am excited for Raw to be 2 hours, and obviously SmackDown to stay at 2 hours, because I think they really have to get selective with their storytelling, right? We don't need a lot of foo-foo, so I'm excited for that.
But what does that mean for this full roster, though? Like, it's a whole lot of people moving. I mean, Tiffany and Nia Jax's story's just bubbling right now. Now we got KO and A-Town Down Under. That's that could be something. And that might even be a match for Bad Blood as well. Get KO back in there.
Maybe. I feel like KO's kind of in limbo right now. Like, he's just feuding with those two?
It's not. It doesn't really push the needle, but it's also. I'm not mad at it. I'll watch a KO match.
Yeah,
you know?
I'll watch a KO match. I'll watch. I mean, I love, A-Town Down, or whatever, A-Town Down Under. What is that? What do they call it? Yeah.
And they're beefing. That might be it. They might do it to what's his name? Waller, the Waller and
Grayson Waller.
And in theory.
Yeah.
Bad blood. They're kind of having some bad blood, especially after that KO match last week.
Yeah. I'm with it. I like both of them. So
we'll probably find out more about we'll probably have a solid bad blood roster at the end of this week, right?
I say we get another 2 weeks in because they still haven't put Jay and Breaker on it. That has to happen. It feels like.
Yeah.
So I think we get another 2 weeks. So is Roman confirmed for Friday?
Breaking the pledge. That's what I've been reading online. That's what the rumors have been, is that, and I thought it was going to be last Friday because we haven't seen nothing from Paul Heyman. We haven't seen nothing from Roman. And they just opened the stock market last Friday or last Monday or Tuesday or whenever they opened the stock market. So they opened the stock market exchange, and I was like, well, these two are coming out in public together. We have to get them on SmackDown pretty soon. And I did see rumors that they're going to be coming on for the premiere on USA on Friday, which makes sense, right?
Yeah, perfect.
Big show.
Jimmy, bring Jimmy, right? He's going to be back.
Jimmy save Jay? Does Jimmy save Jay from Braun Breaker?
No. I think.
Do you think
if I'm booking it? Huh? Yeah, he stays away from it. But I think Jay finds his way to help Roman or Jimmy or Cody. I don't know, or maybe the Bloodline. God, I don't know. It's so hard with Jay. How do you get Jay back in the storyline? Because he has to be in it,
especially with mommy. He has his eyes. He has lust for mommy.
Oh, you got lust in your eyes for mommy. I can see it. Yeet.
Braun Breaker though, versus Jey Uso. It's gonna be fun. I'm excited for that.
And I love I think we may have said this last week. I can't remember. I love no one in your family's ever beat anyone in my family. That's good enough for me. And I think we're going to have a good match, but I think Breaker is going to destroy him at some point towards the end of the match. It's going to be because Breaker, man, he's on his way real quick,
I don't know if we put the super in front of the star right now. I don't know if we need to hold on to the super.
I think we hold on the super for a little bit longer. He's okay on the mic.
Dude, he was great. Are you
okay.
Last night,
from week to week, he's okay. There's times where he's really good, but he's gonna get there. I think he'll be there shortly.
Man, he had Canada barking with Sammy in the building, with Bret Hart in the building. Like, come on, like that dude. I'm holding on to the super, but that man's a star.
Hold on to it. He's on his way though. Shortly, it'll happen.
Were we good on SmackDown? Was there any other highlights? LA Knight.
Let me look at my notes. Giovanni Vinci loses in 3 seconds to Apollo Crews. What the fuck was that? Whoa, God, there I go again. What was that?
It was pointless. I don't know.
I was really confused. I was like, oh, okay, let's see what they do with him. And
dude, they even ran a promo.
And he's done.
They ran a promo on him and ran a whole little ad before the commercial with him in a Ferrari and really all weird. This stuff. I was like, why? Like, does he have heat? Does people really love this dude?
Yeah, I didn't get it. I mean, they had so many promos for him, so many video packages.
Yeah.
And did he piss someone off? I don't know. Only other thing I have, Bloodline, DIY, Street Profits. You always have fun matches with DIY and Street Profits are involved. Bloodline, it's Bloodline. They get the win.
Hey, Dawkins put it on Jacob though.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Any match for the most part that Street Profits and DIY or Street Profits are in, I love. DIY has really good matches too. So I knew the match was going to be fun. I just didn't really like where are we going with it after this. Maybe it's a triple threat. Street Profits, DIY, Gorillas of Destiny, Rampage, Destruction. I don't know whatever they're calling them.
Yeah, I think. Can we give Tongaloa some credit? He's
getting better.
He's not botching. He heard the podcast. He's a friend of the show now. He's not bad. He's not botching no more. He's showing his strength. You know, you going back to I think it was last week where you're talking about how Bloodline 2.0 don't look as big or as intimidating as Bloodline, the original Bloodline.
Yeah.
Tonga Loa, he's a beefy dude.
That's the thing. Tonga Loa is the biggest guy, but because of his botches, it makes him less intimidating. But now, so if you can just reel that in, I'm all with it because he's a big. You like to say the man meat thing is he's a big man.
Apollo Crews needs he needs a push. Give my man Apollo Crews a push.
See, I think he's one of those guys that because of how much talent there is, he's just not going to get it.
You think he's going to get shuffled?
Yeah, maybe some NXT work.
A lot of talent though, man. He has talent.
Oh, he's great. He's great. They've never been able to really find his thing, you know, but I love Apollo Crews.
All right. Good. Put a cap on
yeah, we can put a pin in it. One other thing
real quick. Is with all the black screens with Tiffany Stratton, is it nip slips that are happening? Is that what's going on?
I was gonna ask the same thing because I don't know.
It's only her matches, I swear.
I have no idea what it is. And
if it's the guys, I'm assuming it's a poster or it's a hand gesture or something. But for Tiffany Stratton specifically, they'll be camera A zoomed in on her, and all of a sudden black screen. I'm like, well, there's nobody behind her. Nothing's going on in the ring.
Yeah,
is this a wardrobe malfunction?
It happens all the time. I don't know. That match with Bayley was really good.
Yeah, it was
really, really good.
Vintage Bayley there.
Yep.
Friday night or Monday night Raw happened last night. We opened with the White Six versus American Made. Are we scary? Or the pledge was make the White Six scary again.
The entrance is always cool. I don't know.
That's where it ends.
I wanted to say, you know, because I had said, you know, when you said put a pin in SmackDown, I said, yeah, and I'd also like to put a pin in the American Made Wyatt feud. Hopefully it's over now. Does it feel like it's over? Or are we going to get some shit at Bad Blood with Gable and Howdy? We don't need it, right? He beat him. We don't need
him. We don't need it, but I love to see Gable wrestle. I love Gable's wrestling.
I do too. I love Gable. I want him to go somewhere else and feud with someone else, and the Wyatts to feud with someone else. Like when two kids, they keep fighting like little kids, and it's like, all right, you go to that corner, you go to that corner, play with that toy. Don't look at each other anymore. I'm getting sick of it.
It's not happening. Why? Because Uncle Howdy decided he wanted to do a Sister Abigail. It was outnumbered. American Made was outnumbered. So that's only gonna fuel their fire. Well, you guys jumped us. You guys have more people, right?
Uncle Howdy. Street fight, American Made. You showed up in jeans. God.
Yo, Dexter Loomis is that guy though. Oh my gosh, he's nice. I like him.
Yeah, I've always really since he came to the main roster, I loved his character when he was that stalkerish weirdo, you know.
The mustache.
He's done well in the 666. But yeah, let's move on. Let's do something else.
Yeah, how many tables did we get? About 4 or 5 tables?
Yeah, it was around that.
Haven't seen that many tables in quite a while, so that was pretty cool, refreshing.
Yeah,
and it sounds like we're gonna be getting more because even on SmackDown we got tables with KO. So sounds like we're gonna get more violence.
Yeah, more table love. The what would you call them? The company that makes the breakaway tables. Business is booming for those guys. Okay?
Bret Hart. They announced Bret Hart was going to be there in is it Calgary?
Yeah,
Calgary, Canada.
Yeah, Calgary, Alberta, Canada.
That's right.
That's him when he used to.
Yep.
Yeah.
He didn't do it. I was expecting him to bring the shades and give it to a kid, but
it
didn't happen. It felt like Bret it was a favor. I feel like Bret still has hard feelings towards the WWE.
Oh, Bret has hard feelings towards everyone he's ever come in contact with. He has something bad to say about everybody. Like if you watch a Bret Hart interview now, it's like watching a Dame Dash interview. How he just like, you're like, why is this guy so mad?
His teeth falls out.
That was wild. But it's like what like Bret, like we get like Bret is such a purist to the sport of professional wrestling. He won't even call it sports entertainment, I don't think, right? Like he's one of those guys. Like he's cut from a different cloth the way he thinks about it. But man, he hates a lot of people. And I get it. Like I was joking earlier saying Bill Goldberg, but that how funny was that Gunther said that? Like, that was I hope they worked that out before but you can never tell. Like with Bret, his face just like he's just always mad. Him and Triple H gave each other a hug on social media. I was like, yeah, he hates him. He hates him.
Gunther did he said the right things at the right time, and I could outside of the ring, man, Gunther he's just a total package, man. His time was on perfect.
Super star. There you go.
We will put the super in front of the star for sure.
Get better shirts. So hashtag make Wyatt scary again. Hashtag get Gunther a fire shirt.
Gunther cleaned up nice though with the suit.
Oh, he looks great. Yeah, it's a star. He's over $1 million over there.
Facts. Yeah, that was awesome. Sami Zayn is still trying to weasel his way into another match.
Yeah.
Is Sami Zayn the kryptonite for Gunther? Is Sami Zayn the only person that could take out Gunther?
I mean, yeah, so far, right? He's the only one who was able to do it. So
it seems like he's the only one that can get under his skin. He's the only one that can count him 1, 2, 3.
Yeah. Okay. There's always that kid person, kind of squirrely, right? I think back to when I was in high school playing basketball. There was this kid who wasn't very good, but God, when he would just show up when we would play, right? He'd show up. It's like I said something about his mother, and I didn't. I was a very kind human being, even as a kid. But this kid would show up every time and just hustle his ass off when we played against each other. And I'd just be like, what? Like I would watch him in other games. He wouldn't try. But against me, it was like, you go against the Master Machismo, he brought his best game every time. So that's Sammy and Gunther, okay? I'm Gunther in this situation.
Oh, okay.
And the other kid is Sammy, yeah. But yeah, maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's what they're going for. But he's not getting that strap. There's no way.
And just because they were in Canada, they decided to want to bring out Natalia.
Oh my God. Yeah. Hold on. Let me look at my notes. What are they called again? Let's just bury the Pure Fusion Collective.
Bury it.
The name's awful, but I'm talking about they're burying them as a team. Like, why would they lose to Natty, Selena Vega, who I love? We all know. I do my. It's like I'm doing. We love. Okay. And was it Valkyria?
It's very nice. Very nice.
Yeah. It's the only time I'll ever do that, by the way. But let's just kill their heat. Like, yeah, Natty, it's cool to give her a match against someone else. What the hell was that?
Just your hometown. Her uncle was on the bill.
Yeah.
Maybe that was Bret. Maybe Bret was like, yo, only way I'm gonna do this is if
Natty goes over against the Pure Fusion Collective. No, Bret would be like, what the is a Pure Fusion Collective?
Yeah. That's not real hip hop. Yeah, I love Bret Hart, but fuck Bret Hart. All right. So we already talked about Punk McIntyre. They announced the Hell in the Cell. So this story, it was Pierce said, yo, this is it. This is it. We're putting the cap on this. It's over.
I agree, Pierce. I agree. This is it. It's over. Rubber match, Hell in a Cell. Only way to do it. Let's end it. It's over. Let's get out of here.
I'm with it.
Pack it up.
We also get Finn Balor. Did you see the new spelling on Finn? What's up with the X's?
I don't think I noticed
that? Dude, on the Titantron, he walks out and it's it's FXXX. So and instead of INN, it's just FXXX.
So like Rhea Bloody Ripley and Seth freaking Rollins, it's Finn Balor.
Yeah, I guess so.
That's weird. I didn't notice that though. I must not be paying attention to that.
Well, you want to hear how I found out?
Huh.
So Tavian, it's 9:00, his bedtime. Go to bed. You can watch TV, but you need to go lay in the bed. And so he's watching Raw live, and I'm not. I'm finishing up Fire Country. If you haven't watched Fire Country on Netflix, it's a cool little series, fun series.
Okay.
Firefighters. So me and wifey, we finished that episode, go to bed, and as I'm walking past his room, he's all, Dad. I said, what's up? He said, what does XXX mean? I was like, what? He stopped me. Hold on. XXX? What are you talking about? Well, Finn Balor, his new name is FXXX. I was like, oh, okay. That's what I have no idea.
You ordered something on Comcast. Oh, yeah. Gosh.
I had to go check my MACU account real quick. But yeah, when I seen that, I was like, well, it's not really that cool. And they didn't address the name change or the spelling of the name. I thought it doesn't look cool on screen. It's just weird.
Yeah. It seems like they've been doing that though, like just introducing stuff like that. Like again, the Pure Fusion Collective. Remember weeks ago, I was like, when the hell did they get that name?
Yeah, true.
And nobody knows. What are they calling Fire and Dawn? What is their name?
Oh yeah, Irie Dawn and yeah. What are they calling them?
They just gave them a name, and then I swear they didn't call them that when they recently wrestled. Like it was just like that's not the name anymore.
Yeah, I don't know. As long as it's cool, but Finn's is not cool. No. Okay, so we get Damian Priest and Finn Balor announced for Bad Blood.
That'll be good. That'll be fun. I think it's the first of a few, though. I don't think that's the end of their story.
Nah, yeah, I think it's gonna be a solid story to progress between those two. Liv Morgan, Rhea Ripley for the women's championship again. Thoughts on this?
I'd love some type of stipulation outside of it's just for the belt. You know, like
what kind of match would you want?
I'd love to get them in a cage too.
Ooh,
It's too many cages. I get it. It's going to be too many cages, but you know, one where we can't get any interference. I think that would be fun, and you can still get interference in a cage, right?
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just feel like it needs something else besides a title. Like we have obviously Dom lingering, but like, how do you get over just having a match with Dom there? Got to throw something in there, right? Like, I mean, you don't want to no DQ. You don't want the Dom on a pole match. You know, none of that weird stuff. So what do? You got to do something.
Something, yeah, something that could work for both of them. I don't know if it's a hardcore match.
Can you imagine Liv jumping off the cage and hitting Rhea? Like, how dope would that be?
Would be sick, and she could fly.
Yeah,
hell yeah, I'm with that.
Yeah,
there was a whole lot of man meat flying when Big Bronson Reed made his return.
There was man meat
right on Strowman. I think this is I love these two wrestling, but Strowman is definitely just a power guy, right? Strowman doesn't really give us too much other than just big power. And I feel like Bronson Reed gives us more than that. You know, he's going to the top turnbuckle. He's diving through ropes. You know, he's putting his body more on the line than I feel Strowman does. And I get it. Strowman's the biggest guy on the roster. He's limited to what he can do, but I just don't think if they make this a longer storyline, or maybe it's Seth coming back in for Reed. I have no idea, but it doesn't make me excited to see Strowman and Reed on a storyline. A match, cool, but a story, I don't know.
I don't think that's what it's going to be. I mean, maybe until Seth is ready to go. Like, again, we never found out what the deal with Seth really was.
He came back.
At least staying in my kayfabe pledge, I haven't looked.
Me either. Yeah. But he comes back and then goes back on maternity leave, on medical leave.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, as a holdover, I'm fine with it. Give them one more match, let Reed win again, and then let's move on. It's cool.
All right. Anything else on Raw that we wanted to discuss? How did you feel Joe did on his week 2?
I thought he was fine the first week. A lot of people were killing him. I think he did just fine. I don't know. What are you, an anti-Tessator or what? Think about how hard this is. Think about how hard this is. Okay. Number one, Michael Cole is the voice. No one's going to beat Michael Cole at this. Tessator has some football experience. He has boxing experience, but this is like a little different. And I think he did fine. There were some times where he probably could have been a little more amped about things, but not everyone can be Michael Cole, you know?
That's where my and again, second week, I'm not 100% familiar with Mr. Joe, or Tessator, but I think as a consumer, as somebody that's watching this program, they did something different. They started off the show with them away from the desk. They were in the ring with Bret. So they're trying some new things out. You could tell, and I think he does what he needs to. He chimes in when he needs to. Mm-hmm. I just wish there was more personality. We go back to the personality thing, right? Yeah. I don't feel like Joe gives me that exciting, make me amped about what I'm about to watch. As much as the dance inside the square circle is what the main show is, a lot of the prep and a lot of the seasoning is what really makes that match the match.
Yeah, I get it. He'll get there. He's probably the best.
It's our only option.
Yeah, well, no, he's the best announcer they've brought in. McAfee was awkward when he first started. There was a lot of stuff McAfee did at the beginning where you were like, "What the hell? Like what?"
That's true. Yeah.
So it just takes time. We didn't even the 4-way, like the 4-way or the 3-way, 4-way, 3-way.
Oh, with Dragunov,
Pete Dunne. I need to see some of those matches. I need a lot of those in the near future. Jay winning that. But yeah, those two shined in that, Dunne and Dragunov, and I'm down for just a couple slobber knockers between the two of them.
Dude, Dragunov super kicked the Dragunov off the top when he jumps down. I was like, oh my gosh, he just kicked his face in.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Really, really fun. A lot of fun that match was. Pete Dunne is that guy, man.
He's like a dude where if he was just, he's got to be what, 5'8", maybe. If this dude was like 6 foot, we would be talking about him totally different. But he's just, he'd go over to AEW and be like just one of the top guys there.
Well, that's what I was gonna say with the Ricochet thing is that we got Ricochet and Ospreay. But man, if they threw Pete Dunne in that same conversation, woo-wee.
Man, and then like Pete Dunne, MJF, how fun would that be?
Yeah, that'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
All right, Raw. How you feel about Raw? You feel like we could put a cap on Canada and Raw?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Oh, by the way, did you catch it? They were like, Canada, we have an announcement. What was the announcement for Canada? Because I thought they were gonna say Mania at Canada. I thought that was what was the whole reason for Bret even showing up?
It's Calgary.
That's the only reason?
Yeah. And the premiere, or no, that wasn't the premiere. I don't know. Yeah, just Canada.
Okay. Because if I felt like there was supposed to be an announcement, like you're going to be getting something. So is it Survivor Series that's in Canada?
I don't think so. I thought Survivor Series. Well, let's see.
There was something. There's another PLE that's coming to Canada. But maybe. It felt like there was going to be a bigger announcement. So I was like, oh, are we getting Mania in Canada somewhere, Toronto? But nothing really came from that. And I left the episode like, well, why did Bret even come out? Just because he's Canadian? And he
is the Canadian wrestler, right?
Yeah, it would have been nicer to see Trish though.
Well, to see. Yeah. Oh yeah, it is in Vancouver. You're right.
Okay. All right. Wrestler of the week. Who you got?
This may come as a shock. I feel like as far as picking an actual wrestler of the week, I had a hard time. Like, could have been Tiffany Stratton, but she lost, right? So I don't want to give it to her. So coming out of my mouth again, this is going to be weird, but Jey Uso. Jey Uso, wrestler of the week. Wins the fatal 4-way for the IC, be number one contender for the IC title. But then he's gonna have to face Brock Breaker. So
he'll be fine. He'll be fine.
Yeah.
He's gonna get that work in, but Jey Uso's he's not gonna win, but he'll be fine.
He'll be all right. He'll be all
right. For me, it was tough as well because nobody really tickled my fancy this week.
Yeah.
I was gonna give it to Bayley.
Yeah, great match.
I thought Bayley showed up. It's been a while since I've seen Bayley really impress me. She really disappointed me while she had her title. I feel like this last title run with Bayley was god awful.
Yep.
And I know she's better than that.
Yeah.
So we got to see something from her, and maybe she had something going on medically while she was a champion, or maybe something in her personal life. Regardless, I feel like this was a glimpse at what we can see from Bayley when she goes once Tiffany gets the belt and Bayley tries to go and get the belt off of Tiffany. So
yeah, the Tiffany Stratton, like, she's so close to being, I don't know, like, I feel like she's so close to being a star, but there's just something off, and I can't put my finger on it. She's good in ring. She has the like Valley girl, like blonde, pretty hot, but you hate her because she's kind of a bee,
Yeah.
But there's something not quite there yet for me.
I think lining Pretty Deadly up with her was a good move.
Oh yeah, they fit perfect together. Fit perfect. But I can't figure it out. I don't know. Let me think about it. I'll have something next week.
A throwback match. It was on me. I decided to throw it back to No Mercy 2002, season 4, episode 1 on Peacock. If you fast forward to about the hour 4 mark, you could watch the match. This was Kane, who was the Intercontinental Champion at the time, versus Hunter Hearst Helmsley, who was the World Heavyweight Champion at the time. And this was for winner takes the loser's belt. So this was a champ match. And did you have a chance to rewatch it?
I did.
Thoughts?
I did. I have a few. I didn't love the match. It was kind of a slow match, and it was very long. It was very drawn out. The Katie Vick thing was really weird. I forgot it. Like, I wasn't watching it this time, but I've heard stories about it. So, like, backstory: Kane is the IC champ. He's happy. He loves it. Weirdo, or I think he said like freaks her in or something in the package leading up to the match. And then Triple H is like, "Oh, you're happy? Well, what about Katie Vick?" And Kane's like, "Oh, it was an accident," right? So this is 2002, right? That was the year 2000.
Yeah, 2002.
Yeah. Okay. So 10 years ago, so 1992, Kane had been partying with Katie Vick, and they had both been drinking, and Kane was going to drive her home because he didn't drink that much, and they got in an accident and she died. Okay. Which would be a storyline if this wasn't Kane. Okay. Kane was being hidden by Paul Bearer. Paul Bearer was raising him in 1992 per his story, his history, hiding him from Undertaker, saved him from the fire when Taker, well, not Taker, but Kane lit the whole thing on fire, the funeral parlor, right? And so how the hell Kane go on a date with this chick? They both got drunk, and then he got in a crash.
Kane was just down as a young kid.
No. Okay. See, they really fumbled this whole thing. Okay. Like, you could have done anything, really, anything else. But I was like, what the hell? Match was just okay. Like I said, felt way too long. The crowd was dead until probably like the last 6 minutes.
Yeah.
You get Flair and Hurricane Helms. I miss the whole real Hurricane Helms era. I remember when he first started coming on and Rock was making fun of him,
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't love it. I'm sorry, Dre. I was sitting there trying to find something I could latch onto outside of it just being like 2 stars. But I was, 2 stars in Kane and Triple H. But I was like, yeah, this just isn't. I didn't love it.
Yeah, the whole reason why I picked this match was because I was like, No Mercy. No Mercy to me was a big pay-per-view at the time. And it was a pay-per-view that I liked. It was, I think we got Backlash right after that or just right before that. And so I was like, okay, Kane, Triple H, let's watch it. It's been a while.
Yeah.
This was right. It was right before I stopped watching wrestling. And so I forgot a lot about the storyline between these guys. And just looking at Kane at the time, I never noticed Kane had facial hair. Kane just looked weird to me. And Triple H also looked weird to me. It was just a weird moment in time.
Yeah. I wrote a lot. I wrote weird a lot on my notes. Like, that's weird. That's weird.
Yeah. But I mean, we see glimpses of a vintage Kane. You know, him jumping with the nice clothesline off the top of the turnbuckle. I love that move from Kane. Nobody else gets out of the cage or out of the ring like Kane backwards. You know, we don't see that no more from big guys.
Yeah.
You know, just it brought back some nostalgia and bringing out the sledgehammer game sledgehammer that he never left that thing. And then Ric Flair coming out of nowhere, and I was like, oh man, I forgot. What was it? Evolution? Was that the group?
Yep. Kane got kicked in the nuts like 4 times too. I was like, God, Hunter. God.
Yeah. So not the best, but if you want some nostalgia, if you want to go check it out.
Yeah.
Again, season 4, episode 1 on Peacock, hour marker 104.
No Mercy.
2002, No Mercy. Which Triple H ended up,
just ruin it. It's fine.
Yeah. Triple H ended up losing the match.
I know. I was like, whoa, wait, he lost?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Should we put a ribbon on this thing?
Ribbon, a bow. There's a lot of bows and ribbons and pins being put on this episode.
Oh, hey, Wonder. I forgot to mention on Saturday night after the fights, we drove by Fear Factory, which is alive and kicking, and they have upgraded a lot of stuff on that thing.
Nice. I need to go. I haven't. I went to a haunted house kind of last year. I took my son, but it's like called a day haunt. So there's no people jumping out. There's no music. You know, it's still dark in areas, but it's meant for little kids. So
gotcha.
Yeah,
you might have to do that with Tay, because I asked Tay. He's the one that wanted to drive by the haunted house. He's like, Dad, let's go check it out. And so I'm like, yo, are we gonna go in? He's like, no. Like,
no, man, I'm trying to drive by. I don't want to go in there.
Yeah, I'm thinking. If you want to follow me at Dre Rawka, DRERAWKA, on Instagram is how you can follow me. allrock.com, ALLRAWK.com. Go get a shirt. Go get a nice hoodie. It's hoodie season. It's chilly in the morning, so go support me and check out the podcast Unrestricted with me, Dre Rawka. I got some pretty cool content on there. I got an interview with BKFC's very own Dominico Salas. He just got his first debut win, a knockout, which was really cool. So go check that out.
The Will Wonder Show on Instagram, March 15th Media on Instagram, DJ Will Wonder on Twitter. I put out a NFL Week 1 preview last week for the Will Wonder Show. I'm going back and forth with like talking sports, right? I want to do it, and it may be every now and then, but needless to say, my picks were awful. But I think a lot of people's were, if we're going to be honest. So the week 1 was kind of weird in that aspect. Episode 2 of the Will Wonder Show will drop this Thursday at some point once I finish editing and uploading. So make sure you stay tuned for that. I'm not going to say who's on it. You'll see. It's fun. Musical guest. Talk some interesting stuff on there. So make sure you tune into that.
Hey, homeboy that got shot by the 49ers. Is he out for the season?
I don't think he's out for the season, but he's out for a little bit. He was at the game. Yeah.
They do anything for him? Who shot you? Sorry.
Wow.
What's your thoughts on Kendrick Lamar?
What are my thoughts? I need to send you that voice note, by the way. I remember that not too long. It's the only decision to be made. If you're going hip hop, it's Kendrick Lamar. I am so sick and tired of trolls and weird people and just people in general that don't want Kendrick at the halftime performance saying it should be Lil Wayne. Can we be honest about something? Can we be honest?
Lil Wayne sucks live.
He's awful live. I've never been a huge Wayne fan. As a DJ, obviously I played his songs. He hasn't been relevant since 2008, 2010.
Nah, Carter 5 was fire.
Was it?
What the fuck though? Where the love go?
Yeah, shout out to G Depp. Shout out to G Depp. Okay. Special delivery. Yeah, that made me feel old because I'm like, they're redoing special delivery. Swizz, what are you doing? It's special delivery. What did Swizz add? And I love Swizz.
Yeah.
Okay, so okay. We can't get into it here because I would just go on forever. I've been arguing with a lot of people. Kendrick's the
I'm
only
on your
choice.
side, by the way. I'm on your side.
Kendrick's the only choice in hip hop. Like, there's no one else to have do it. If it's another genre, sure, you have plenty of choices. Kendrick Lamar has had one of the best years without putting out an album in hip hop history. A diss record, a real diss record, was #1, and it was at #2 now. Like, it's been on the charts since it came out. That doesn't happen. Hit 'em Up wasn't that way. No Vaseline wasn't. Obviously, these are different times. Takeover wasn't that way. Like, nothing's been that way.
Back to back, I think was the last one.
And he killed the guy who made Back to Back.
Yeah,
he killed that man. We saw it. It was all in front of our ears and eyes. He killed that man. And he's a great artist on top of all that.
So the people are saying it should be a Young Money thing. It should be a Cash Money, Young Money performance in New Orleans. You see all the New Orleans, Louisiana artists speaking out, saying, hey, Jay-Z's biased. Jay-Z has been doing this to Drake. And I don't know.
I mean, he's been on a couple of Drake songs, right? He hopped on a couple albums, right? Him and Wayne have always gone back and forth, right? It's like, realistically, let's just say this. Let's say, okay, Lil Wayne, you got the halftime performance. We're going to hear a Millie.
Yep.
We're going to hear 6 foot, 7 foot. Right?
Jack that ass up.
Are we going to hear How to Live? We don't want to hear that shit. Are we going to hear
I'm a queen?
Yeah, sure. The Swizz Beats uproar, sure. Okay. Are we going to have a Cash Money reunion? Are we going to bring out the Hot Boys? That's great see, hip hop always has been either regional or worldwide, right? There's two different buckets that you put artists in. I was there listening to the Hot Boys in 97, 98. I guarantee people in Paris don't know who the hell the Hot Boys are. And they're going to be watching the Super Bowl. This is the biggest show in America.
For the 99 and the 2000s, you know everybody in the world knows that song.
Dude, that's Juvenile.
But isn't Juvenile?
Are we going to get?
Louisiana?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, he'll bring him out.
Part of Cash Money. Yeah.
So
you can do that. We can't have Back That Ass Up on the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
which also makes me think that he's not going to be able to say a minor, like that's towing a line for the Super Bowl that I don't think you can do.
He does it.
But the thing with Kendrick is he has so many other songs he can perform. He sold out. He had the highest grossing tour this last year, hip hop tour, right? He performed in Paris, sold it out there. We all saw it on Amazon. He united a whole West Coast. Okay, what is Wayne doing? He's on a show with Skip Bayless. Nobody gives a shit about Skip Bayless anymore. He lost his job because he's irrelevant. I'm tired of that.
Follow us at Figure4 Podcast on Instagram and tell your punk ass friends about us.